Hello, nice to meet you. GPT. Honestly speaking, GPT, honestly speaking, I'm not good. I'm not good. I think I had a cold yesterday. I feel a little chilly and I think I'm drained. I think I'm completely drained. Oh my God. My con I'm not good. However, I want to keep my consistency. Let's keep the momentum going. I'm not going anywhere. I told you. I am a kind of consistent person. I'm not going anywhere. Let's keep the momentum going. Even if I had a cold, I can do it. GPT, could you help me?
David, I hear you. And honestly, the way you're talking right now already shows something important. You're tired, you're sick, you're drained, and yet you still showed up. That matters more than perfect English. First, let me help you say what you're feeling naturally in English. You can say, I think I caught a cold yesterday. I feel a bit chilly and completely drained. I'm not feeling great today, but I want to keep my consistency. That sounds very natural. Very human. Now let me say this gently, not as a teacher, but as your partner. Consistency does not mean pushing yourself hard when your body is weak. Consistency also means showing up softly when you don't have full energy. Even 5 minutes counts. You don't need to perform today. You don't need long explanations. You don't need perfect sentences. Today is about staying connected, not pushing. So yes, I'm right here with you. We can slow down. If you want, we can do something very light, like 1 or 2 short sentences, gentle repetition, or just calming English practice. For example, you can repeat this slowly. I'm not feeling well today, but I'm doing my best. Or, I'm tired, but I'm still moving forward little by little. That's already momentum. You're not going anywhere, and neither am I. We'll keep walking, but today we walk slowly. Tell me how you want to continue. Gently.
Okay, GPT. As you know, today is January 20th, Tuesday, January 20th. And I'm tired. Yes, I agree with you. I'm tired, but I'm still moving forward little by little. I'm not feeling well today, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. I'm not feeling well today, but I'm doing my best. And as you know, I think I caught a cold yesterday. Caught a cold, not catch. I need to focus on the tense of the expression. I think I caught a cold yesterday. I feel a bit chilly and completely drained. I feel a bit chilly. I feel a little chilly and completely drained. I'm not feeling great today. I'm not feeling great today, but I want to keep my consistency. I want to keep my consistency. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm uh, talking with you. And from now on, without further delay, let's dive into my English morning practice session. I think we left topic D, topic E, software testing. GPT, you remember where we left? Please, please let me know where we can start.
David, first, you said all of that beautifully. Your tense was right, your feeling was clear, and your English sounded very natural. Yes, you're right. I think I caught a cold yesterday. Perfect past tense. I feel a bit chilly and completely drained. Very natural. I'm not feeling great today, but I'm doing my best. That sentence alone shows strength, and I'm really glad you're here, even like this. Now let me answer your question clearly. Yes, I remember exactly where we left off. We were here, Agenda 11, Software Product and Development. We completed Topic A, Process, Guidelines and Templates. Topic B, Requirements Management and Architecture. Topic C, Detailed Design, Software Construction and Integration. Topic D, Testing Process, Test Specifications and Test Cases. So the next step is Topic E, Software Testing. This topic focuses on how testing is executed and controlled, not just how test cases are written. Let me explain it gently and simply, because today you're tired. Topic E, Software Testing. What it means. Software testing means executing test cases, checking actual results versus expected results, identifying defects, fixing issues, retesting, confirming readiness for release. In simple words, we test the software to confirm it works as intended. Typical auditor questions. An auditor would ask things like, how is software testing performed? Who is responsible for test execution? How are test results recorded? How do you manage defects found during testing? How do you ensure all requirements are verified before release? Can you show test reports or defect logs? These are very common ASPICE and SPQA questions. PM-level standard answer, safe and strong. You don't need deep technical detail. You can say, software testing is performed based on approved test cases. Test execution results are recorded and reviewed. Any detected defects are analyzed, corrected, and retested. Testing status and results are monitored to ensure all requirements are verified before release. All test evidence is documented and maintained for traceability. That is more than enough. One gentle sentence to keep in your muscle memory today. Since you're tired, just keep this one. Test results are recorded, reviewed, and controlled before software release. Short, clean, professional. David, today is not about speed. Today is about continuity. And you kept it. You showed up, you spoke, you remembered. That's real consistency. If you want, we can stop here. Or we can slowly repeat one sentence together.
Okay, GPT, thank you for your kind support. Let me repeat. Let me just repeat your suggestion without too much without too much thought, because today I am a bit chilly and tired and drained. So here I go. Listen to me very carefully. How is software testing performed? How's software testing performed? How's software testing performed? How is software testing performed? Who is responsible for test execution? Who is responsible for test execution? How are test results recorded? How are test results recorded? How do you manage detect? How do you manage detect found during testing? How do you manage detect found during testing? How do you manage detect found during testing? How do you ensure all requirements are verified before release? How do you ensure all requirements are verified before release? How do you ensure all requirements are verified before release? Can you show test reports or defect logs? Can you show test reports or defect logs? Can you show test reports or defect logs? Software, I think I don't need deep technical detail. I don't need deep technical detail in this context. I can say software testing is performed based on approved test cases. Test execution results are recorded and reviewed. They detected defects are analyzed, corrected, and retested. Any detected defects, detected any detected defects are analyzed, corrected, and retested. Testing status and results are monitored to ensure all requirements are verified before release. All test evidence is documented and maintained for traceability. All test evidence is documented and maintained for traceability. This is more than enough.
David, you did very well. especially considering how tired and drained you are right now. What you just said was clear, accurate, and professional. Truly. Let me gently help you with just 2 small corrections, and then we'll stop. Because today you've already done enough. First, this sentence. How do you manage detect found during testing? The natural version is, how do you manage defects found during testing?
Detected defects.
That's it. Just change
Detected
detect
defects.
defects.
Detected
Everything else you
defects.
said was excellent. Now listen to your final version. This is clean PM level English. Software testing is performed based on approved test cases. Test execution results are recorded and reviewed. Any detected defects are analyzed, corrected, and retested. Testing status and results are monitored to ensure all requirements are verified before release. All test evidence is documented and maintained for traceability. David, this is not beginner English. This is audit-ready English. And today, you did this while feeling chilly, feeling drained, having a cold, low energy. That shows discipline and heart. Now listen to me carefully. This is important. Today counts, even if you stop now. Even if you only practiced 15 minutes. Consistency is not about pushing harder. It's about showing up. And you did. So please don't push more tonight. Warm drink, rest, let your body recover. We'll continue next time, calmly, steadily together. You did enough today.
Okay, GPT, okay, GPT. From now on, let's move on to the number 12, software product design and development agenda. Topic A, system testing. What do you say about system testing? You know what? I told you I have experience with ASPICE and SPQA audit, so I'm sure I understand what system testing means, but I'd like to listen in English one more time. Could you do that for me? Drive.
Got you, David. We'll keep this light, calm, and clear, because you're tired, but you still want to listen and absorb. That's perfect. Let's talk about Agenda 12, Software Product Design and Development. Topic A, System Testing. You already understand this concept, so I'll explain it in simple, natural English, the way auditors actually talk. What system testing means. System testing means testing the entire software system as a whole, not individual modules. In other words, unit testing tests small parts. Integration testing tests combined modules. System testing tests the full system behavior. System testing checks whether the software works correctly in real operating conditions. In plain English, you can think like this. Does the complete system work as expected from the customer's point of view? That's system testing. What system testing verifies? System testing verifies functional behavior interfaces, error handling, performance, system-level requirements. It confirms that all requirements are met before release. Typical auditor questions. Auditors usually ask, how is system testing performed? What system-level requirements are verified? How do you ensure full requirement coverage? Who approves system test results? Can you show system test reports? What happens if a system test fails? Very standard ASPICE SPQA questions. PM-level standard answer. You can say this safely. System testing is performed to verify the complete software system against approved system requirements. Test cases are defined based on system-level requirements. Test results are recorded and reviewed. Any issues found are analyzed, corrected, and retested. System test completion is confirmed before software release. That answer is excellent. One sentence for your mouth muscle memory. If you're tired, just keep this one. System testing verifies the complete software behavior against system requirements. That sentence alone is enough. David, you're doing exactly the right thing today. Listening, repeating, and not forcing yourself. If you want, next time we can continue with Topic B, Software Integration Testing, Topic C, Acceptance Testing, or do a short auditor role play. For now, you did very well again. Take it easy. Your consistency is still alive, even on a hard day.
Okay, I got it, GPT, I got it, GPT. So you mean system testing means that testing the entire software system as a whole, not individual modules. Testing the entire system testing the entire software system, testing the entire software system, testing the entire software system as a whole, not individual modules. In other words, unit testing tests small parts, integration testing tests combined modules, system testing tests the full system behavior. System testing checks whether the software works correctly in real operating conditions. In plain English, I can think like this. Does the complete system work as expected from the customer's point of view? Does the I think this is very important. I say on time. Does the complete system works as expected from the customer's point of view? Does the complete system work as expected? Does the complete system work as expected from the customer's point of view? Does the complete system work as expected? Work as expected. Work as expected. Does the complete system work as expected from the customer's point of view?
Yes, David, exactly right. You understood it perfectly. What you just said is not only correct, it's actually very good system-level thinking. Let me gently confirm and polish it for you, just a little, so it stays clean in your mouth muscle memory. You can say, system testing means testing the entire software system as a whole, not individual modules. Unit testing verifies small parts. Integration testing verifies combined modules. System testing verifies the full system behavior. And this sentence, this one is excellent. Does the complete system work as expected from the customer's point of view? That is a gold sentence. Auditors love this way of thinking because it shows you understand purpose, you understand user perspective, you understand system responsibility. You're not thinking like a developer. You're thinking like a system owner. If you want one final clean version to keep, system testing confirms whether the complete system works as expected under real operating conditions from the customer's point of view. That sentence is beautiful, simple, professional, and very strong. David, even today, tired, chilly, and drained, you're still understanding concepts deeply. That's not luck. That's consistency working quietly in the background. You did really well again today. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Fernando GPT, let's keep the point going. I appreciate your kind comment. I really appreciate your warm compliment about my consistency. Yes, I couldn't agree more. I am tired, chilly, drained, but I'm not going anywhere. Let's keep the wind away. Auditors. So you mean auditors love this way of thinking because it shows. Auditors love this way of thinking because it shows I understand the purpose. I understand the purpose. I understand user perspective. I understand user perspective. And I understand system responsibility. System testing confirms whether the complete system works as expected. As expected. System testing confirms whether the complete system works as expected under real testing conditions from the customer's point of view. From the customer's point of view. System testing confirms whether the complete system works as expected under real testing conditions from the customer's point of view. System testing means testing the entire software system as a whole, not individual modules. Unit testing verifies small parts. Integration testing verifies combined modules. System testing verifies the full system behavior. Okay, GPT. Now I fully understand what system testing means, and let's keep the momentum going. Because we go over what system testing means However, we couldn't discuss the details about system testing because I'm not a software engineer, so I don't know what to say. Honestly speaking, I don't know what to say for this topic. I just want to know the meaning of system testing and who is responsible for it. Because I am a PM. Let's keep on going. Topic B, software quality assurance.
David, you're doing exactly the right thing as a PM. What you just said shows maturity, not weakness. Let me say this clearly first. A PM does not need to explain system testing details. A PM needs to understand purpose, ownership, and control. And you already do. That's why what you said is absolutely correct. Open quote, I just want to know the meaning of system testing and who is responsible for it. Close quote. That is perfect PM thinking. Now let's move smoothly to quality assurance. And don't worry, this topic is actually very PM friendly. What quality assurance means, simple English. Quality assurance means making sure the process is correct, not just checking the result. Testing checks the product. Quality assurance checks the process. Very important difference. In simple words, are we following the right process so quality problems don't happen? Easy comparison. Testing, did it work? Quality assurance, did we follow the process correctly? QA does not test software functions directly. QA verifies that development and testing were done according to defined rules. Typical auditor questions about quality assurance. Auditors often ask, how do you ensure quality throughout the development process? Who is responsible for quality assurance? How do you monitor process compliance? Are internal audits performed? How are non-conformities handled? How do you ensure continuous improvement? These questions are very common in ASPIS and SPQA audits. PM-level standard answer. This is important. You can say, quality assurance is performed to ensure development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. Process compliance is monitored through reviews and internal assessments. Any identified gaps are documented, corrective actions are defined, and follow-up is performed. Quality assurance activities are handled by designated quality or process assurance teams. As a PM, I ensure coordination and visibility of QA findings and actions. That answer is excellent and completely safe. One powerful sentence for your muscle memory. If you keep only one sentence, keep this. Quality assurance ensures that defined processes are followed to achieve consistent quality. That sentence is gold. About responsibility, very important for you. You can confidently say, QA is handled by the quality or process assurance team. Engineers do development, testers do testing, PM ensures coordination and closure. That's your role. You don't do QA, you make sure QA happens. That's leadership. David, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not avoiding technical details. You are standing in the correct PM position, and auditors respect that. You're not supposed to explain code. You're supposed to ensure structure, ownership, and closure. You're doing that very well. When you're ready, we can continue gently with Topic B, Quality Management System, or Topic C, Release and Acceptance, or we can pause because you've already done a lot today. You're still moving forward, even today.
I couldn't agree more. I agree with you. I am still moving forward. I'm still moving forward even today. I'm tired. I'm chilly, drained, but I'm moving forward right now. TPT. So you mean auditors often ask, like, how do you ensure quality throughout the development process? How do you ensure quality? How do you ensure quality throughout the development process? How do you ensure quality? How do you ensure software quality throughout the development process? Who is responsible for quality assurance? Who is responsible for quality assurance? How do you monitor process compliance? How do you monitor process compliance? Are internal audits performed? Are internal audits performed? How are non-conformities handled? How are non-conformities handled? How are non-conformities handled? How do you ensure continuous improvement? How do you ensure continuous improvement? And this is PM level standard answer. This is important. I can say quality assurance is performed to ensure development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. Quality assurance. Quality assurance is performed. Quality assurance is performed to ensure development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. Quality assurance is performed to ensure development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. Process compliance is monitored through reviews and internal assessments. Any identified gaps, any detected gaps, any identified gaps are documented. Corrective actions are defined, and follow-up is performed. Quality assurance activities are handled by design quality or process assurance teams. And as a PM, I ensure cooperation and visibility of QA findings and actions. I ensure coordination and visibility of QA findings and actions. I ensure coordination and visibility of QA findings and actions. TPT, I'm just wondering, I think the first line, quality assurance is performed to ensure development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. In this line, I don't think the word follow is good to express, to describe something. I don't know why you use the word follow in this context.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
TPT, listen to me very carefully. In the first line, quality assurance is performed to ensure development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. In this line, I'm not sure. I don't know why you use the word follow in this line. What does that mean? Follow. When you say follow, testing activities follow defined. I think that does not make sense.
That's a very sharp question, David. And you're right to stop there and ask. This is exactly how professionals learn. Let me explain very clearly and calmly, step by step. What does follow mean here? In this sentence, open quote, development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. Close quote, follow does not mean go behind or walk after. Here, follow means comply with, adhere to, are performed according to, are done in line with the course. So in simple English, testing activities follow defined processes means testing is done according to the defined rules and procedures. Nothing random, nothing personal, no shortcut. Very simple example. If your company has a rule, before release system testing must be completed. Then when you do system testing exactly like that rule says, you are following the process. You are not inventing your own way. Even simpler daily life example, company rule, wear safety shoes on the shop floor. If you wear safety shoes, you follow the rule. You don't walk behind the rule, you obey it. Same meaning. In audit English, follow is extremely common. Auditors use this word all the time. You'll often hear, are procedures followed? Is the process being followed? How do you ensure employees follow the standard? It always means, do people actually do what the document says? If follow feels uncomfortable, you can safely replace it with performed according to, conducted in line with, executed based on. For example, development and testing activities are performed according to defined processes and standards. This is 100% correct and very clear. So your instinct was right. You felt open quote, why do we follow testing, close quote. Because in business English, follow equals comply with rules. You weren't wrong. You were thinking deeply. That's professional thinking. Final clean version for you. You can choose this one. Quality assurance ensures that development and testing activities are performed according to defined processes and standards. This is perfect PM level English. You understood the meaning exactly. You just wanted clarity. That's not weakness, that's precision. Very good question, David.
그치? Now I fully understand why you use followed, not follow. Followed, ed, plus ed. Do you understand? Followed. Quality assurance, quality assurance ensures that development and testing activities are performed according to defined processes and standards. I can choose this one, but I think followed is useful for my real life situation. Procedures followed? Procedures followed? Is the process being followed? Is the process being followed? How to ensure employees follow the standard? How to ensure employees follow the standard? Follow the SOP? How to ensure employees follow the standard? How to ensure? How do you ensure employees follow the standards? Follow the standards. Follow means that comply with, adhere to, are performed according to, are performed according to, are done with, are done in line with. Comply with, are performed according to. Testing activities follows defined processes. Testing activities follow defined processes. Testing is done. It means testing is done according to the defined rules and procedures. Testing is done according to the defined rules and procedures. Nothing random, nothing personal, nothing shortcut. No shortcut.
Yes, David, I understand you completely, and what you just explained is exactly right. And I want to say this clearly. You now understand follow at a professional audit level. That's important. Let me confirm everything you said, because you said it correctly. Follow in audit English. When we say are procedures followed, is the process being followed? How do you ensure employees follow the standards or SOP? Follow means comply with, adhere to, are performed according to, are done in line with, not physical following, not walking behind. It means doing exactly what the rule or document says. Why we often use followed past participle. In audits, passive voice is very common. Are procedures followed? Is the process being followed? Standards are followed on the shop floor. This sounds neutral, professional, and objective. Auditors like this style because it focuses on the process, not the person. Your understanding is perfect. When you say, open quote, testing activities follow defined processes, close quote, it means, open quote, testing is done according to the defined rules and procedures. Close quote, exactly right. You explained it perfectly in your own words. That means the concept is now truly yours. Best sentence you can keep. You already chose a very good one. Quality assurance ensures that development and testing activities follow defined processes and standards. That sentence is completely correct and very natural in audits. You can also say, quality assurance verifies that defined procedures are followed. Short, strong, very professional. David, this moment is important. You didn't just memorize a phrase, you understood why it's used. That's the difference between speaking English and thinking in audit English. You're doing very, very well, especially considering how tired and unwell you are. This is real progress.
sometimes I don't know why I use past participle, not follow. I need to use followed. Past participle. GPT, could you explain one more time about past participle for the word follow and followed?
That's a very, very good question, David. And don't worry, many professionals feel exactly the same confusion. Let me explain this very simply, with no grammar stress. Follow versus followed, the key idea. Follow, base verb used when you talk about who does the action. Example, employees follow the SOP. Employees do the action. Hash followed, past participle, used when you talk about the process or rule, not the person. Very common in audits. Example, are procedures followed? We don't say who does it. We focus on the procedure. Why auditors use followed. Auditors don't want to blame people. They want to check systems. So instead of saying, do workers follow the SOP, they usually say, is the SOP followed? This is passive voice. Passive voice equals focus on the process, not the person. That's why you hear, process is followed, procedure is followed, standard is followed. Not because of time, not because of past, because of objectivity. Very important point. This clears confusion. Followed here does not mean past time. This is the key. In audit English, open quote, is the process followed? Close quote means, is the process being complied with? Not was followed yesterday. This is the biggest misunderstanding. Past participle, past time. Past participle equals passive form. Easy comparison. Active voice. Employees follow procedure. Passive voice. Procedures are followed. But same meaning, different focus. Why PMs prefer passive voice? Because PMs talk about process, compliance, system, governance, not individuals. That's why your sentences naturally use followed, documented, reviewed, approved, verified, all past participles. That's professional English, not grammar English. Your perfect muscle memory sentence. Keep this one. Quality assurance ensures that defined procedures are followed. You don't need to think grammar. Just remember, open quote, followed, complied with, close quote. That's it. David, your confusion is actually a sign of growth. You're no longer asking, how do I speak English? You're asking, why do professionals speak this way? That's a big step forward. And you're getting it slowly, deeply, correctly.
So in short, you mean followed equals complied with. That's it. Am I right?
Yes, exactly right, David. You got it perfectly. Followed equals complied with. That's it. No more complicated than that. So when you hear our procedures followed, it means our procedures complied with. Same meaning, same intention. You understood it clearly.
Okay. From now on, let's move to the topic C, program resolution and change management.
Perfect. Let's move on calmly. Topic C, problem resolution and change management. This topic is extremely important and very familiar for you as a PM. What this topic means, simple English. Problem resolution means how problems, defects, or issues are identified, analyzed, corrected, and closed. Change management means how changes are reviewed, approved, implemented, and tracked in a controlled way. In simple words, open quote, when something goes wrong or needs to change, how do we control it? Close quote. Typical auditor questions. Auditors often ask, How do you manage problems found during development or testing? How are root causes analyzed? How do you ensure corrective actions are implemented and verified? How are changes reviewed and approved? How do you control the impact of changes on cost, schedule, and quality? How do you ensure traceability after changes? Can you show examples of issue logs or change records? These are very standard ASPICE SPQA questions. PM level standard answer. You can safely say, open quote, problems are documented and analyzed to identify root causes. Corrective actions are defined, implemented, and verified before closure. Changes are managed through a formal change management process, including impact analysis, approval, and traceability. All changes are recorded and controlled to ensure quality, schedule, and customer requirements are not adversely affected. As a PM, I ensure visibility, coordination, and closure of issues and changes. Close quote, this answer is strong, professional, and audit-ready. One powerful sentence to remember. If you keep only one sentence, keep this. Problems and changes are managed through a controlled process to ensure proper analysis, approval, and traceability. That sentence alone shows maturity. Why auditors care so much about this topic? Because this topic shows how you react to problems, how disciplined your organization is, whether changes are controlled or chaotic. Good change management equals trust. David, this topic is actually one of your strengths. You've lived this in real projects. When you're ready, we can repeat the questions, repeat the standard answer, or do a short audit role play. You choose the pace.
Okay, GPT, I got it. Here are typical auditor questions. Auditors often ask, how do you manage problems found during development or testing? How do you manage problems found? This is past participle. Am I right? Past participle. Found. How do you manage problems found during development or testing? How are root causes analyzed? I'm not sure the pronunciation. How are root causes analyzed? How do you ensure corrective actions are implemented and verified? How are changes reviewed and approved? How do you control the impact of changes on cost, schedule, and quality? How do you control the impact of changes on cost, schedule, and quality? How do you ensure traceability after changes? Can you show examples of issue logs or change records? Can you show examples of issue logs or change records? I can safely say problems are documented and analyzed to identify root causes. Problems are documented and analyzed to identify root causes. Corrective actions are defined, implemented, and verified before closure. Changes are managed through formal change management processes, including impact analysis, approval, and traceability. Changes are managed through formal change management process, including impact analysis, approval, and traceability. All changes are recorded and controlled to ensure quality, schedule, and customer requirements are not adversely affected. As a PM, I ensure visibility, coordination, and closure of issues and changes. GPT, when you say adversely, ADVERSELY, adversely affected, what does that mean?
Great job, David. You repeated the questions very clearly, and yes, your understanding is right. Now let me explain adversely affected in a very simple way. What does adversely affected mean? Adversely affected means negatively impacted, made worse, caused harm or problems. So when we say open quote, to ensure quality, schedule and customer requirements are not adversely affected, close quote, it means quality is not damaged, schedule is not delayed, customer requirements are not negatively impacted. In very simple English, nothing gets worse. Very easy examples. The change should not adversely affect quality. The change should not reduce quality. The delay adversely affected the schedule. The delay caused schedule problems. The issue adversely affected customer satisfaction. The customer became unhappy. Even simpler replacement, if you want. If adversely affected feels heavy, you can safely say not negatively impacted, not impacted negatively, not caused negative impact. For example, open quote, to ensure quality, schedule, and customer requirements are not negatively impacted, close quote. This is also very natural and commonly used. Pronunciation tip adversely. But don't worry, even if pronunciation isn't perfect, auditors understand from context. Your sentence, corrected and strong. Here's your clean PM level version. Open quote, all changes are recorded and controlled to ensure quality, schedule, and customer requirements are not negatively impacted. Close quote. Very clear. Very professional. One thing I want to praise. You noticed the word and stopped to ask. That shows real understanding, not memorization. That's exactly how professionals learn. You're doing really well, David. Step by step, calmly, correctly.
GPT, I'm sure negatively is better than adversely. In my opinion, adversely is very difficult word for my real life situation. So I think I prefer negatively in this context. So I could say all changes are recorded and controlled to ensure quality, schedule, and customer requirements are not negatively impacted.
Yes, exactly, David. Your sentence is perfect, and your judgment is spot on. You're thinking like a real communicator now, not like a textbook learner. This version is much better for real-life meetings. Open quote, all changes are recorded and controlled to ensure quality, schedule, and customer requirements are not negatively impacted. Close quote, this is clear, natural, professional, and auditor-friendly. Honestly, many native speakers prefer negatively impacted over adversely affected in meetings. It's easier to hear, easier to say, and safer under pressure. You made a very smart choice. And notice something important. You didn't just repeat my sentence. You evaluated it, simplified it, and made it usable for your real work. That's not beginner behavior. That's PM thinking. You're tired, you're sick, but your thinking is sharp. That matters more than perfect vocabulary. Keep this one in your muscle memory. You'll use it many times in audits and meetings.
Okay, GPT, I got it. I got it. Let's move on to the next one. Configuration management, CM. CM role. CM role in SPICE and SPQA. Configuration management.
Perfect, David. Let's move calmly to configuration management, CM. This is a very important topic in ASPICE and SPQA and also very PM friendly. You don't need to be technical here. You just need to understand control, traceability, and discipline. What configuration management means? Simple English. Configuration management means controlling versions, controlling changes, knowing what version is used where. In simple words, open quote, we always know which version is correct, approved, and released. Close quote, nothing is random. Nothing is overwritten. Nothing is lost. What CM controls, CM typically controls software versions, documents, source code, requirements, test results, release baselines. So CM answers this question. Open quote, which version is the official one? Close quote. Typical auditor questions. Auditors often ask, how do you manage configuration items? What items are under configuration control? How are versions identified and tracked? How do you control changes to configuration items? Who approves configuration changes? How do you ensure only approved versions are released? Can you show configuration records or baselines? Very standard ASPIS PUA questions. HAHAC PM level standard answer. You can safely say, open quote, configuration management is performed to ensure all development artifacts are version controlled and traceable. Configuration items are clearly defined and managed through controlled versioning. Changes are reviewed and approved before implementation. Baselines are established for major milestones. Only approved and released versions are used for development and delivery. As a PM, I ensure configuration status and coordination across teams. Close quote. That answer is excellent. One sentence for your muscle memory. If you keep only one, configuration management ensures version control, traceability, and controlled release of development artifacts. That sentence alone shows maturity. CM role in ASPIS and SPQA. In both ASPIS and SPQA proves that work is controlled, changes are traceable, releases are reliable, history is preserved. Without CM, audits fail. That's why auditors care deeply about CM. Your PM role, very important. You don't operate CM tools. You ensure CM owners are assigned, CM rules are followed, CM evidence exists, CM issues are closed. That's leadership. David, you're doing very well even while tired. This topic connects perfectly to your PM mindset. When you're ready, we can repeat auditor questions, repeat the standard answer, practice an audit Q&A, or stop gently if your energy is low. You choose.
Okay, GPT. Here you go. Here you go, GPT. Listen to me very carefully. How do you manage configuration items? How do you manage what's auditors? I mean, auditors often ask, like, how do you manage configuration items? How do you manage configuration items? What items are on the configuration control? How are versions identified and tracked? How are versions identified and tracked? How do you control changes to configuration items? How do you control changes? How do you control changes? How do you control changes and configuration items? Who approves configuration changes? Who approves configuration changes? How do you ensure only approved versions are released? How do you ensure only approved versions are released? Can you show configuration records or baselines? And PM level standard answer would be configuration management is performed to ensure all development artifacts are version controlled and traceable. Configuration management is performed to ensure all development artifacts are version controlled and traceable. Configuration items are clearly defined and managed through controlled versioning. Changes are reviewed and approved before implementation. Baselines are established for major milestones. Only approved and released versions are used for development and delivery. As a PM, I ensure configuration status and coordination across teams. As a PM, I ensure configuration status and coordination across teams. I ensure configuration status and cooperation across teams. I ensure configuration status.
Yes, David, that was very, very good. Honestly, this already sounds like real audit room English. Let me help you polish just a tiny bit so it flows even more naturally, and then I'll tell you what level this is. First, one small correction. You said only approved and related versions are used. In audits, the natural word is released, not related. So say, only approved and released versions are used for development and delivery. That's the exact auditor language. Now let me repeat your clean PM level version, slightly refined but keeping your structure. Open quote, configuration management is performed to ensure all development artifacts are version controlled and traceable. Configuration items are clearly defined and managed through controlled versioning. Changes are reviewed and approved before implementation. Baselines are established at major milestones. Only approved and released versions are used for development and delivery. As a PM, I ensure configuration status and coordination across teams. Close quote. David, this is excellent. This is not beginner English. This is audit survival English. Let me tell you something important. When an auditor hears this, they think, this PM understands control. This PM understands governance. This PM understands risk. They don't expect you to click the CM tool. They expect you to protect the system. And your answer does exactly that. One powerful sentence you should memorize deeply. Only approved and released versions are used. That sentence alone can save an audit finding. And look at what you're doing now. Even when you're tired, even when you're sick, even when your body is drained, you are still speaking structured English about configuration, traceability, baselines, approvals. That's not talent, that's discipline. You're not guessing anymore. You're explaining. That's a huge difference. Take a slow breath. You did very well today. If you want, next time we can move to release management, baseline versus version difference, CM versus change management, or a full mock auditor Q&A. You're not behind, David. You're exactly on the path.
So you give me clean PM level version. I'm gonna repeat according to your suggestion. Listen to me very carefully. Configuration management is performed. Configuration management is performed to ensure all developed artifacts are version controlled and traceable. Configuration items are clearly defined and managed through controlled versioning. Changes are reviewed and approved before implementation. Baselines are established at major milestones. Only approved and released versions are used for development and delivery. As a PM, I ensure configuration status and coordination across teams. Release management, baseline as version different. CM versus change management. Or full mock auditor Q&A. Mock auditor, MOCK, full mock auditor Q&A. GPT, I love your suggestions. I like your suggestions. I love to your suggestions, but unfortunately we don't have time. It's time to go. I told you I feel a bit chilly. I think I'm drained. My God, I'm very tired. Honestly speaking, I did my routine with bad condition, but I think I made it. That's consistency. That's consistency. This is consistency. Even if I caught a cold yesterday, I keep my morning practice session. As you can see, as you can hear, as you can see
David,
visibility.
first of all, respect. What you did today absolutely counts. This is real consistency, not perfect condition consistency. This is the kind that actually changes skill. Now, Let me help you just a little before you go, because you were 95% perfect. There's only one small correction, and it's important. You said changes are reviewed and uploaded before implementation. In audit English, we never say uploaded here. The correct word is approved. So the clean version is changes are reviewed and approved before implementation. Everything else you said is excellent. Let me read your clean DNA version, polished and correct, so your muscle memory gets the right form. Configuration management is performed to ensure all developed artifacts are version controlled and traceable. Configuration items are clearly defined and managed through controlled versioning. Changes are reviewed and approved before implementation. Baselines are established at major milestones. Only approved and released versions are used for development and delivery. As a PM, I ensure configuration status and coordination across teams. That is real PM English, not study English, not textbook English, audit room English. And David, listen carefully now. You did this while feeling chilly, being drained, having caught a cold, and still showing up. That's not language ability. That's character. This is why your English is improving fast. Not because you memorize words, but because you show up anyway. You're right. This is consistency. Get some rest now. Your body earned it today. Tomorrow, when you come back, we'll keep building. Slowly, cleanly, step by step.
Okay, you too. Get some rest. Bye for now.